your problem. Like I've seen in the college, maybe I haven't seen you said hello to you in the corridor or whatever, but at the end of the day, you knew what my role was, you know what I mean?
Can I pause the button just there? Hold on, let me just pause that. I've seen you in the corridor. There's no one say hello when you go.
No, but I was already on the course. I was already on the college course at that time.
Why was
I'm on about the
natural
second
course
year.
of progression?
Yeah.
That's
So by the way,
what I don't understand.
natural course of progression. Single biggest issue.
If everybody's done the first year
and
done the
there should be a
qualifications
place
and
for that
got it, we should be
person.
able to automatically.
It's a natural expectation.
Achieving the first level should be
Natural course of progression, natural expectation. This is a natural expectation. And we know that you care because you're hurt. But we know that he cares because he wants the opportunity. But this young lady said, we're vulnerable. We haven't got the confidence. Anyone thought about that? Have you got the confidence? Because something's wrong about who takes the... Are we confident enough? Are we equipped enough? Why do we expect them, if we're not confident equipped enough, to come to us?
Because it's usually out of our hands.
What's out of your hands, people? I need to know. They need to know. What's out of your hands?
There's always ways of communication with them. It is definitely to us, as that lady said, and quite right, that we do possess a lot of confidence and knowledge to come and speak to them and to find out if there's anything wrong, anything troubling them, and anything where we can go.
If anything's wrong and anything troubling them, when something's troubling you and something's wrong, who do you go to?
Do you trust in that place at that time?
Go to, because I'm not told.
Hold on that comment of the day. They don't know who to go to because they're not told. True. In any democracy or Maury poll, that is an overwhelming percentile. And we have to, we may not like it, but we've got to be able to respond to it.
That's definitely a lack of communication on our part then, isn't it?
Thank you.
We definitely need to be more open, more approachable, and have a more understanding of what the actual young people want from us.
Would that be a fair response? By way of making it better?
We should all do that though, not just using it now. We should be, like say, involved in it as well. As not to make any big decisions, but to take part in the decisions that are being made for not necessarily us, but the kids. Like, even if there's a year younger, they're following us. They're following everything that we've done. So if we
Tell me what you told me last night.
they're going off the tracks, and so if we all, like I say, we can't make a decision, but we can have an input on it. As you know, whether it's a new classroom to go in there and speak to a mentor, that's a mentor of whoever, but it's someone to talk to. Like, not everyone's as confident as me to speak like this, but there's a lot of people that are withdrawn. They're nice people, but they bottle it all up and got no one to speak to. So if there's someone they can trust.
What did you ask me when I was outside? No, you do know. What did you ask me? You need to ask them. You forgot. No, you didn't. You did. It was about what would happen next. You weren't sure if this was just for show.
Oh yeah. Is something going to happen after this? Or is it just bullshit?
By the way, that's such good language compared to what I normally hear. I'm prepared to let that go.
Speaking from the heart, isn't it?
I'm afraid they can only express what they know. But he ain't giving nothing away. And I don't blame him. You protect your heart because if it's been hurt, you then hang out with your homies, your crew, your extended family, your new family. By the way, so you understand the gang culture, that is all it is, an extended family meeting the needs of a broken family or broken relationships. Broken promises. They've got to come to us. Well, no, they're not. They're going to themselves. What's the single biggest barrier you feel that prevents you from getting where you want to get to? You don't know.
Qualifications, maybe.
Qualifications. Qualifications.
Qualification.
Confidence.
Confidence and qualifications. If you've got the confidence, the qualifications will come. I go to universities and there are graduates who say, I'm doing a degree in botany, but I want to be an accountant. I went, well, what happened? And I go, well, how about changing your mind? Never ever occurred to them. So they do a degree in botany, they end up working for the Horticultural Society, and they got this, there's not a smile on their face. And they regret the rest of their lives making that big, bold decision. They just needed some confidence and wanted to live their dreams. But confidence, I believe, comes from forums like this. It comes from sport in the arts. By the way, sport in the arts, interest, what do you like doing?
I don't know.
That's okay. Swimming and... Swimming and rugby.
Skill on your team.
Swimming and ice skating.
Football, boxing.
Football, boxing.
Basketball.
Basketball. Awesome. They all have a pastime of choice. I believe if you go to them and actually share in some of that, oh, by the way, what do you like doing?
Football.
You?
Football with
What do you like doing?
Rugby.
What do you like doing?
Diving.
Diving.
Horse riding.
Horse riding.
Football and drama.
Netball. I used to love playing netball. Those asked me I used to play netball. Work it out, kids, work it out. I used to do needlework and everybody played needlework. Work it out, kids, work it out. How come you're such a big hit with the girls? They haven't played netball.
Putting one foot in front of the other these days.
In the mountains or just
anywhere.
just do that?
Just
Right.
anywhere.
See, the common culture we all have is we all look for recreational activity born out of what we're interested in. And I believe that's a common interest. I actually believe you get some confidence as a result of that. You develop relationships. You develop some common behaviours that give you the confidence to actually go about what you're doing. You might even agree to disagree. I know people who are so cultured. Now, I'll refer to my Afrikaans brothers in South Africa because they have no reason to like anyone who looks like me. But because I could kick and punch better than anything they'd ever seen, and they were interested, they became respectful of what I was about. And then as a result of them becoming respectful, they actually began to more than respect about what I should wish to want to do by way of just existing. And what I'm saying is the common culture is in your common activities, which are all different, but they all require that time where you are able to connect with yourself and then with other people. What's the biggest opportunity? What's the positive thing you found in this whole network of agencies? Is there anything positive? Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
We're listening. We're all listening.
Same.
See, the Warrior poll, the street poll I call it, is pretty consistent on the key issues that we're supposed to be well up on. And what I'm saying in business terms, we're currently in liquidation. We could possibly go into administration, because the targets, I declare, go straight out of the water. Because the targets didn't bring about the policy of why we're sitting around this table. Victoria Camberley, do you know who Victoria Camberley was? She was a target of someone else's ignorance or inability to do their job. A failure of a multi-agency effort. Because you know what no one wanted? Don't want that on my desk. And by the way, it's a human trait. Whenever there is something we can't handle, we switch off. What's the single biggest thing you'd want from all these agencies that are here to help you and support you?
Help and information.
Help and information. Help change things. Needs to be changed. So. Have you? She was so quiet yesterday, I didn't think she'd even utter a word. They can always surprise you, by the way. There's nothing they've asked that is unreasonable, is there? Is there anything that you feel is unreasonable in what they have asked of us in order that they realise their career choices?
I'd like to know what they'd like to change or what's the main thing they'd like to change.
Brilliant.
Schools.
Skills.
Job searching.
What is that? Skills.
What was wrong with school? Have you got a day?
Teachers in the work.
It's like someone's disrupting the classroom and the teachers won't send them out, so that means you're not going to get taught anything in that lesson. It's like zero tolerance.
Did you not think school classrooms were too big anyway?
Something like that.
Yeah.
School classrooms are far too big. You can't learn in the 30 to 30
You need to
classroom.
like break the lessons up, like,
Yeah.
and not do so many tests.
So many tests. Tests and targets.
Just ask, what did you say then with job searches?
Yeah.
How can you change that so it's better for you? Because I do this on like a daily basis, but without me.
Well, it's like really hard, like when you go on the internet, like you've got to go through all these things, and what you really want to do is just find out what jobs are actually out there.
So
Like
through my
more
point of view,
basic.
when I have somebody that I work with, I find out what they're interested in. I tell them to have a look at my own list. Rather than me, I'll have a list of jobs that I found that I think they might be interested in. Is something like that good, or is that?
Yeah,
So what I mean, someone's got it there in front of you, something like that.
yeah, it's just like the job centre as well, like they won't help you unless you're on your benefits.
Yeah.
So they send you down to connections.
So it's somebody to literally sit there and help you find a job rather than you struggling for ages.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I just say, I know at least two of these people have been governed by age. But the people I know are age 18 and they fell into a no-go, you know, an area where they're getting out of the help zone, and I can never understand why it's gone so long without the help and support being put in before, you know, maybe they've got to us.
What do you think? Is that a fair comment? I mean, I could actually say that is the single biggest recruitment area for the gang culture. See, at 18, you're a potential lieutenant. You're not a foot soldier. You have the ability to lead them, because I would argue that we're competing with, and I think, actually, you explained it brilliantly when your brother came to you to sort out something standing park. Just what if you share?
My younger brother is 10. He was getting bullied, and it was going on for about 3 weeks before he'd told any of us, and he came to me. But what he wanted me to do was bully the bullies as such. You know, I'm his older brother. He wanted me to come down and show him that he's got someone to look after him. But if I do that, I'm the one that then's in trouble. But slightly changing it, if that's when the kids are playing, they're playing on where they've been built, the council's built them a new playing fields. Now, our age group, yeah, we're a bit old to be playing on playing fields, but some of us do like to go for a game of football. If we go to the park, we're then penalised for being in a group, we're going to play football, but we're penalised because we're over the age of 17. We're then made to be thugs then. Yeah, but that's just it. It's easy giving us an ASBO, but for what?
Assessment, are you proud to be a young person? Are you glad to say that you're young and that you're innocent at that age of your life? Or do you feel?
No, because at the minute, you can't do it. It's all right being young, but being young's getting us nowhere. We've got to grow up too quick.
Do you see a lot of positive role models, like positive young people in the press?
I'm going to pause that. What do you think about being young?
But like stuff for younger people, but never anything for us to do. Our age group, nothing for our age group.
And you said it was?
Too much age discrimination.
Saying no jobs on older people at your age.
What would you like to do?
What was that?
What would you like to do? You said not a lot for you to do.
Should get more sports in.
If we want to go and do some sort of sport, we've either got to pay for it and do it indoors. If we go to the Stanley Park to play football, it's free to play football. But then if you get moved on, where do you go then? We ended up on the park, and we get moved on from the park. You get 3 warnings now, and then you're getting done for it as well. And we might be. At the minute, it's the gang, not that we're bullying anyone, but because we're in a group of over, say there's 5 of us, we're getting done for, we might not be causing trouble, but we're still getting split up, even when we're not been a menace, as, you know, you might go to the shop. Well, you're walking with your friends, you're going in the shop, they might be stood out. But I know to the older people, it is, I suppose it's quite frightening to walk past a group of people, but if they're not doing anything wrong, like you, I think one of them said, hoodies, you're not allowed to wear your hood up now. Well, just because you've got your hood up, don't mean you're going to rob someone.
Stereotyping, isn't it? Yeah.
Very quickly, stereotypes. It's all about stereotypes. Who goes to the Trafford Centre? You're not allowed to wear a hood at the Trafford Centre. I did, by the way. None of the redcoats came near me. They made, as I said, I was big, I was black, and I was intimidating. And I saw them have a little discussion. But equally, there's nothing more intimidating than Friday night or Saturday night in Manchester with a hen party and a group of girls coming at you. Trust me, that is the most frightening experience. You want to test it? You go there. You don't want to know. Any pack of human beings, male or female or mixed, no, more gender separate, is a dangerous proposition. But what these young people are saying certainly depresses me, because it isn't difficult stuff. What were you talking about? Leisure centres?
You need to build new leisure centres for kids and teenagers, even adults.
By the way, kids, teenagers, adults. Have you noticed we've built a lot of facilities for separate interests of generations? Old people sectors. These people, in the States, they've got an intergenerational centre from age 5 to 100 years old, I noticed. Now, when groups walked in, they said hello to the pensioner. They developed a relationship. There was no fear. What did you say?
More youth workers, to be honest.
More youth workers. Don't you all consider yourself youth workers? That's why I took the term a social coach. He's a social coach. That group that are moved on or ASBO'd. ASBO's, what do you think of ASBO?
Waste of time.
You don't know.
You get them for the wrong reasons, I suppose.
Brilliant.
Good in some time, but not in others.
Rubbish. So I was speaking for him, you already spoke. What do you think?
The rubbish kids, it's not going to stop kids, anyone from doing what they are doing.
People are now proud to get them like a certificate.
Badge of honour, aren't they? Yeah.
They call them the Peckham Rolex in London. Not joking. You have to get an ASBO before you become a foot soldier and join a gang. That's part of your CV requirements. Mini ASBOs. God knows where some of these ideas come from. If you go into a short start facility and a kid does a somersault, they actually start monitoring their behaviour. This is a reality check. But at the end of the day, it's obvious that they're one of the most important age groups that can help both inform and resolve are missing. They arguably don't exist. Do you feel included in society? No. See how quick that was? That's her quickest answer. Didn't think about it straight away.
No.
These are real, honest discussion issues. We have to ask ourselves and seek the answers to the questions we ask ourselves every single day. Are we responding to these young people's needs? And how can they help us? Because for me, I say there's an invaluable experience that they can bring, and I consider the best will in the world. You will not be able to engage the generation coming up better than they can. Because when we don't know a language, what do? We get an interpreter or we learn the language. Politicians, I've always said, being an interpreter, what a brilliant job. 2 world leaders with 2 lady interpreters. You can say what you want. Think about it. I see these as social coaches and interpreters with invaluable insight. But the progress report for all of us is pretty damning. They don't feel they belong. How would we feel if we didn't belong within our respective work environments? You've all had your performance reviews. Good, isn't they? Have you had a 360-degree peer review? That's really interesting. So you get a chance to say something about your boss. You only said it once, but... But what we've got to do is get these young people as our advocates. They become our agents of change.
But really, I understand exactly where you're coming from there. Just going back to what you said before, is anything going to change or is it all bullshit? Right? And us as individuals in this room now can do something as individuals and as multi-agencies. But what about the people above us? Yeah. We're dictated to by them.
Well, are they in the room now?
Well, that's what I mean.
Exactly, that's it.
No, they're
They should
not.
be here.
So,
They should be here.
it's you.
All I can say is this. I said to you I've been at this for 14 years. And over the last 2 years, it's been a repeated visit to Blackpool. But what will happen next is a result of your collective efforts. That's what democracy is. A collective voice actually presenting in the right way. And by the way, I understand politicians. By the way, we put them there. By not voting, you put them there. By voting, you put them there. Government will only be as good as the democracy that challenges them. Youth councils, anyone on a youth council? Why not? Do you know there's a youth council? No. Do you know there's a youth council that speaks to you and actually agrees policy in Blackpool? Why? There you go. Lack of information. How's the information communicated?
Well, it is because it's just put on like a billboard on little, you know, so you can get a couple of leaflets, but they're not handed out. No, they don't even have to be handed out to you, but if you're told they're there, you know.
I'm told what, not just give a leaflet, but told
Yeah, you're told what it
functions.
does.
Yeah.
You're explained to, you know, it's all right saying there's a leaflet, read it. What if you can't read well, for instance? Yeah.
By the way, I'm dyslexic. And I was a left-hander. In the Caribbean, what a left-hander is.
Pardon?
What's a left-hander in the Caribbean?
Don't know.
You're a left-hander. By the way, my mother was beaten. You're beaten for being a left-hander. That's some weird cultural reflections of what left-handers do. The best thing, the proudest moment I've had at school was my mum coming. She couldn't afford to leave work to come up to school, so the fact that she had to go to school for me misbehaving was a non-entity. But the only time I remember walking with me to school was to tell a teacher, leave me alone, because there was nothing wrong with being a left-hander. That's my proudest moment. I had this big stroppy smile on my face, going, ugh. I'm ambidextrous now, but don't you think we need to be ambidextrous in how we look at this? Because unless we have this, with all due respect, those in the positions of power and influence will say, where's the evidence? You know, where's the value of this interaction?
I don't think the workers are powerless to affect things. I think they're the ones who come up with the ideas.
Sorry, just finish off. Sorry.
I was just going to say, part of the ethos of our work is come with a good idea and then try it out. If it fails, it doesn't matter, we've tried it. And that's, I'm a firm believer that anyone within their role has the power to change things in terms of looking personally.
Great belief. How about the practice?
I think it's difficult when you work with someone. What I was saying before, it's all very well, we have the intention, the best intention to want to help all young people. I think everybody does. When you work for a big organisation, it also has to produce money to fund the organisation, like the college. There's that conflict of, it's all very well doing the best as young person, maybe should go on that course, but at the end of the day, it's not a course. Because otherwise they don't get money next year. There's that conflict.
Yeah, but you can show them how that could make money for them.
There is nothing wrong with having a healthy economic environment that allows social and cultural development. I don't understand, you know, I've been in corporate boardrooms in like this, and they have brilliant corporate philosophies. The Joseph Rowntree's Foundation, you know, Rowntree, sweets are bad for everybody. People forget what the Joseph Rowntree's Foundation do. And they've done it for over centuries. But the philosophy was, this was a time when families ran the businesses. It was in their interest to have a healthy workforce. So if they felt better in their family environment, community environment, they would work harder. There was an agenda. I do think there's a major issue in the colleges, the FEs and the universities. And I think there's a contradiction where degrees are not having the same value, because are you going to fail the numbers that in the end are your targets that are going to work against you? I'm afraid the standards we then set means that we are not able to compete globally. But you have got to look at other cultures, and it's working there. It's working in developing countries. What I'm saying is, you raise your bar collectively, and with more forums like this, and I still believe, you know, we used to do it as a means of, I used to have a team of 15 people that helped me win. Physiotherapists, nutritionists, psychologists, bless you, technical coach, strength coach, and we'd all have a team meeting. And we'd all sit down at the beginning of the year and go, what are we going to achieve? Well, it was European, English, European and World Championships. And it was on a 2-year cycle, and we knew the training programs, but nothing was guaranteed. Nothing. It was the will, the desire, but more importantly, belonging to something and believing in something. Do you belong or believe in anything that you see around you at this moment?
I think we do, yeah, I think we do belong here now.
But outside of this forum, what do you belong to? What do you believe?
Well, when we're in here, we're speaking on the same wavelength. When we get outside, we're meeting other people. That, again, it's gone in, it sort of comes in, stays in there in our head, but it goes out at the other side. When we get outside, we can't go to another adult as such and say, what's your view on, you know, whatever. Because then they think, oh, you're just a kid. And you sort of get brushed off. So,